From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Well, some of us starting the day off with some rain, others not so much rain. But one thing for the most part is that most of us have at least seen a lot of that cloud cover. And we can still see that here in the late morning hours, elk country, just north of Trinidad. Another thing you can see on this image here, look at that. There the elk hanging out. It's living up to its name as elk country, right? I always love to see that. But we don't have to go too far to the north, and we begin to see that we're starting to see some clearing off in the distance, and even, look at that, even off in the foreground here, getting close. All right, so the clouds are starting to clear out here from the northwest, and that'll eventually work its way down to the south, and the rest of us will start to see some of that clearing as well. So that's a really good indication. It's good to see here, but you head way down to the south of that, out towards, this is in Butte County at Lake Oroville, North Forebay. Yeah, there are the overcast skies that we're seeing out there. Not to mention, you can see those calm winds giving us that glass of that lake right now. But then we head up into the higher elevations, in particular Lassen Park. A lot of low clouds and that very low visibility with really not much to see because there's so much of those low clouds out there. But today is the transition day from the cool and wet pattern we've been experiencing really since Thursday of last week to a drier and warmer pattern. So again, not only will it be drier, but we're expecting much warmer weather here for your Thursday and Friday. More wet weather though this weekend and even into early next week. But beginning to see more and more signs of a big warm-up by the end of next week. So this is the area of low pressure responsible for wet weather we saw yesterday and even this morning. But as this continues to dive to the south and our winds shift more from the north, we're going to see the clouds begin to clear out. And we're already seeing that, as you saw there, out towards Del Norte County, right? And that's all working its way down to the south and southeast. All right, so let's take a look at Futurecast. And there you can see there's the chance for some of those showers. Maybe even an isolated thunderstorm in some areas. If we get enough of that clearing and we get enough of that daytime heating, that can create that convective activity that we see with those showers beginning to develop. I think at the very least, some isolated showers developing in this area here, southern Tehama County, Glenn, and even Butte County, but maybe even still a few showers even at the noon hour and even into the afternoon, early afternoon for places like Redding, right? And then, of course, there you can see some of the activity to the north and east. Now, as we take you into about 3 p.m., look what's happening. Now we're starting to see more clearing, maybe some clearing in North Redding, maybe a little bit clearing in some areas as well. But see this? We're seeing the potential for a stray shower, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm. Still a little bit of activity out towards Lassen County, southern portions of Modoc County as well. But, I mean, look at the coast. I mean, it's drying out there. You've got the clearing skies. This will all be gone by this evening, 6 p.m. Look at this. We're actually starting to see some clearing for the valley. Clearing along the coast, still some leftover clouds, but at least at this point, it's dry. Now we take you to tomorrow morning. Now the key to tomorrow morning's forecast will be whether or not those winds are blowing or not. If we have a calm wind in the valley, what this will mean is development of fog, without a doubt. There's a lot of moisture in the ground. It doesn't take much for that fog to develop, including many of the mountain valleys and inland valleys as well. However, seeing signs that there may be just a bit of a wind out of the north that may help scour out any of that fog that may develop, which we'll take a look at that here in a second. But look at Thursday afternoon, look at Friday afternoon, plenty of sunshine, dry weather, warmer too. But look way up here. You can see that next system right there. That's what's coming in on Saturday. All right, so let's take a look at the winds. We're going to take you to tomorrow morning about 6 a.m. That's all it takes. 5, 6, even a little over 10 miles per hour. Any fog that tries to develop, it'll scour out. However, if there are areas that are, sheltered by the winds, I think we're going to see some fog. I think at the very least, maybe some patchy fog out there. Not to mention many of the inland and mountain valleys as well. So that's what we've got to watch here closely. And then we'll be looking at more of a breezy north wind, borderline windy, but more breezy from the north here as we go into tomorrow afternoon. And that's mainly for the valley. You'll see the wind's not that strong elsewhere, even for the coast. Then as we go into your Friday, the wind should die down for the most part as well, but we can see that approaching storm system For your Saturday, the winds may pick up, and of course, that chance for rain as well. So again, we'll talk about the winds here for a second, because this is looking at Thursday again. Here's the ridge of high pressure, but that flow around that ridge of high pressure is right on top of us, and that's what's helped to really support that wind development for your Thursday. But by Friday, sunny skies, calmer winds. There's that rain coming in Saturday. Now, as we start the weekend going into early next week, we've got what I like to call a parade of storms. There's nothing terribly strong about any of these storms, but they will bring us more rain. They will bring us more snow. But the way these work is they just kind of come down the pike here, right? And the jet stream just kind of transports them in our direction. So what we do is we see a little bit of rain, then it stops. Then the next storm system comes in, a little bit of rain and snow in the mountains, by the way, and it stops. Rain and stops, right? So that's going to be off and on here for the weekend into early next week. Now the timing, the intensity of these storms as they pass through, that's all going to change as we go into the next few days. But bottom line, we keep that chance in there through Tuesday. Then by Wednesday, another ridge of high pressure builds in, and it gets even stronger possibly by Thursday, Friday, where we could see some of the warmest temperatures we've seen so far for the year. All right, let's take a look at those temperatures out there right now, or excuse me, for this afternoon. We're talking about 55 degrees for Redding, basically mid-50s for the north end of the valley, south end more like the low 60s. Temperatures mainly in the mid-40s, give or take, for the higher elevations, and for the coast in the low 50s. All right, so we take a look at our 7-day outlook region by region. We start off with the valley. Of course, just that chance for showers. Clearing, though, this afternoon. Clearing, of course, for Chico as well. Maybe a stray shower, thunderstorm possibly even this afternoon. There you can see the dry conditions over the weekend. Beautiful, right? But there's off and on rain here for the weekend into next week. And really, that's the story for everyone in Northern California. Everyone will see the drier conditions for Thursday, Friday, and off and on rain with snow levels around 4,000 feet. That's also the case for Mount Shasta, for Alturas, and Susanville, with those snow levels still right around 4,000 feet.